can't believe that motherfucking Bubsy made a comeback. And it's actually good. How's it going, nation? Welcome to PlayStacin, and as I've made you all aware in the past, I love cartoony platformers. So when I saw that Atari, of all people, were planning on releasing a brand new Bubsy game in 2026, I was intrigued. Is that the right word? I was definitely skeptical, since Bubsy the Bobcat doesn't necessarily have the best reputation. So much that even the marketing leaned in on the meme that all of its previous adventures were shit.
Game suffering from uncontrollable momentum and a confusing layout. Okay. Weird. You know what? Let's try another one. His endless quips were annoying, the music was generic, and the levels were laid out like Are these even the right reviews? Oh, they're not. Oh! Phew. Okay then. Here are the right ones.
Still, looking at all the different trailers, the gameplay seemed fun, and from all the dialogue, it seemed for once that we'd be laughing with Bubsy instead of at him. In this video, I'll be going over all the stuff that I liked, the stuff I didn't like, the trophies, and even go over things that I'd like to see in a future entry. Yes, after playing and platting this, I want more Bubsy content. So, without further ado, let's get started. Like most platformers, the story is extremely simple. Bubsy is relaxing with his family, basking in the joy of knowing that he'll never have to risk his life again for the Golden Fleece, until the Golden Fleece is stolen again by a new enemy called the Babot, which are creatures that are half sheep and half robot. The gang follows them to their galaxy, and thus our adventure begins. The game is rather short, as we only have 3 planets to explore, with 5 levels per planet, making a total of 15 missions in the game total. While that doesn't sound like a lot, it's actually the perfect amount of levels for a collectathon platformer. Each level contains a golden fleece, a blueprint which can be used to purchase abilities, and 150 balls of yarn which can be used to purchase alternate costumes. There's also a time trial in every level with a pretty strict time limit that you'll need to beat. Some of the tricks I saw for some of these were insane, by the way. Like I said, the story is extremely simple and doesn't require a lot of thinking to comprehend. You land on each planet, collect each fleece, beat the planet's designated boss, and move on to the next one. The bosses in this game are also pretty fun, and each come with their own unique gimmicks to overcome. Once you beat the game and collect your final golden fleece, Bubsy and the gang head back home for more relaxation. Dude sure loves his naps. The gameplay is where this game truly shines. This is probably one of my most difficult cartoon platformers that I needed to overcome, and I've platinumed to Crash 4. Bubsy's moveset is extremely limited and requires precise timing when performing his different moves, as his entire kit is momentum based. Seriously, I'd be going to make a jump during a speedrun and would underestimate my speed, causing me to go a lot farther than I actually wanted to. Moves worth mentioning are his pouncing and gliding, as they'll be your primary mode of transportation. One miscalculation and you'll miss your jump and immediately regret it. Furball mode is also another quick way to get around, but be careful as hitting literally anything will turn you into a pinball and slow you down. This ability was specially made for the various ramps you'll see throughout every level. Think those SpongeBob tongue sliding sections from Battle for Bikini Bottom, but you're a giant furball. As for the other abilities in the game, unfortunately I didn't get much use out of them as I would have hoped. There's a blueprint collectible hidden within every level which works as currency for the in-game ability shop. Each ability costs 1 blueprint and are usually meant to complement the already existing moveset. Like with Furball mode, you can purchase an ability to help you drift along tight corners, or it can be used to get serious airtime if you hit an object at the precise moment. Another ability, Coyote Time, is an homage to Wile E. Coyote, as Bubsy will continue to run on air for a few seconds before briefly looking down and falling to the ground. While these abilities can be useful, unfortunately none of them are really needed to beat the game. Hell, none of them are really needed to platinum the game, which is crazy when you think about it. As long as you know your way around the map, you can nail the speedrun without them. Platforming will be your main source of challenge, as there will be many obstacles in your path, as well as multiple branching paths. I typically try and collect everything in one go, but for this game, I accidentally kept ending up taking the story path and would have to do the whole level again to clean up any collectibles that I missed. Believe me, there were many times where I'd reach the end of the level and find out I was only missing one ball of yarn. Gave me major Crash Bandicoot flashbacks. As for the bosses, there are 3 boss fights in the game. Each one requires you to dodge a series of attacks before getting the opportunity to attack them once. The first boss will have you run around dodging floor-based attacks before getting a chance to run them down with your furball attack. The second boss will focus primarily on air attacks and dodging electricity. It honestly reminded me of the Vicky boss fight at the end of Breaking the Rules. Finally, the final boss contains everything you've seen as well as the other 2 bosses in the game. The only thing really hard about these levels would be the speedrun times, as you basically have to defeat the boss with perfection to nail the time, especially boss fight number 1. There are a total of 18 trophies in the game, and the majority of them are focused on completing the game at 100%. Each planet rewards you a trophy for beating the boss fight of the world, completing each level of the world, and collecting everything on each world. Yes, this does include the time trial medal. You earn a trophy for completing the game's tutorial level, which is fun, leaving the final 2 trophies of the game to be the most difficult ones to obtain. Gauntlet Gladiator, which requires you to beat the obstacle course level you earn by collecting everything in the game. Think of your Mario Galaxy Grandmaster Challenge, or the Astrobot Grandmaster Challenge. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't struggle with this, because I certainly did. Here was my end result.
T-pose, baby! Hit time.
The other trophy is to beat the game on 9 lives mode, which, like the name of it implies, gives you a total of 9 hit points to complete the game. Yes, 9 hit points. Going 15 levels and 3 boss fights without getting hit is quite the task. However, this trophy isn't difficult. At least, not if you have access to cloud storage. Turns out, after beating a level, you can just save your game to the cloud and re-download that save if you get hit later down the line. It doesn't negate the trophy and works as the perfect buffer for getting this trophy. Gauntlet Gladiator is definitely the hardest trophy in the game. In conclusion, Bubsy 4D is a pleasant surprise, and in my opinion is a welcome addition to the modern cartoon platformer lineup. I dare say, he's finally earned a plate at the lunch table, which is something I think he'd really enjoy to hear. I hope we get more Bubsy content in the future, or maybe even more DLC levels for Bubsy 4D, because I do believe the platform mechanics in this game to be interesting and fun to interact with. You should totally get this game when you can. I give it a solid 7 yarn balls out of 10. And until next time, I hope you all have a sumptuous day until our next communion.